In this video, I will teach you some easy sales psychology hacks that you can use on your website to increase your bookings. Humans are a lot alike. We all have certain patterns in our behaviors and the way that we interact with the world. And when you start to understand that and you apply those things to your website, you'll start to see people taking the action that you want them to take at an increasing rate. When I started understanding sales psychology better and applying those things to website design, that's when I really saw some of my clients get some really incredible results. So for example, one of my clients saw a 10x return on her website and brand after she made that investment over the past year. Another client saw her income double after her brand and website launch. I have a couple clients who see hundreds of leads come through their site, lots of clients booking, all due to some of these sales psychology hacks that we applied to their site. My name is Allie, and I design brand and websites that don't just look good, but they actually serve to build your business and grow your client roster. Your website should be more than a brochure. It needs to be something that actually books people on autopilot. You want your website to be more than just a business card that's static and just shows some basic information about your credentials. You want to turn it into something that can sell for you so that it's bringing in clients on repeat while you are doing other things in your business or with your family. The thing is, there isn't just one silver bullet. It's 1,000 golden BBs. So a lot of little details that go into creating something that works. If you really understand humans at their heart and the things that they care about, the things that they want, their likes, their desires, then you can start to create something that meets them where they are. At the heart of it, sales psychology is not manipulation. It's removing roadblocks between things that might have stopped someone up and where they actually want to go. So let's talk a little bit about human nature so we can understand some of the fundamentals that will help us turn our website into something that is booking clients. So first off, people are lazy. They want the path of least resistance. And we all know this. Even people who are highly motivated and are very active or very energetic, they're still not necessarily going to do something if it requires too much extra effort. The more friction that there is between where they are now and where they want to go, the less likely they are to take all those steps. So an example of this is Expedia had a form that was asking for customer information. They found that when they removed some of the field, that they were able to increase conversions on this form. And the result of this was $12 million in extra income. So it shows us that when we remove that friction, when we make it easier for people, then they're more likely to take the steps that we want them to take. Number two is that people are really busy. They have a lot going on. They have families, they have businesses. And so when there's so much jumbling going on in their brain, it's hard for them to focus on the things that you're asking them. If you're making them too complicated, if there's too much busyness or too much going on your website, we all are inundated with constant distractions, like between advertising and social media and all of the things that are going on in our lives. So we want to pare it down for people who are overstimulated, who are on the run constantly and just want the basic information. One company performed a test where they offered shoppers 24 different varieties of jam in one test and then only 10 in the others. And there was a 10x difference when there were less choices. Sometimes as humans, when we are overloaded with choices, it kind of gives us analysis paralysis. Like we sit there and we don't know what decision to make. So the easiest decision is none at all. So when you're presenting your potential clients with options, make sure you pare them down to the most basic. You can always add things and customize things when you're in the sales process, but on your website, keep it simple, keep it really boiled down to just the basic in your package offers, rather than using an a la carte menu where you're listing out all these million things you can do for them. Just create like 1 or 2, 3 options at most, and that will help people really hone in on what makes sense for them. And then, like I said, you can always expand on that when you're talking to them. Another thing is to write at a 4th grade level. You want to make sure that your text and your copy on your site is really easy to understand, that they don't have to stop and think about things. People are scanning, they're on the run. So the less that they have to sit there and process information, the more likely they're going to absorb it and then take the next step. Keep your calls to action really simple. Make sure that you're making them clear about what is going to happen when they click a button, and reduce your options. Like I said, don't throw 500 different directions at them when they get to your homepage. Make it a streamlined path to 1 or 2 or 3 goals. Number 3 is people are savvy. Most people at this point have seen it all, and the online space has gotten more complex. People have started to see that and realize that. And so as a result, they don't just naturally trust people anymore. They want proof that what you're promising is actually going to happen. I would say in 2025, people are pretty tired of all the hype, of all the over promising, hearing these like unrealistic results. So they want to know that they can trust you. There's a company called 160 Driving Academy. They had a bunch of stock photos on their site. They found by trading out stock photos with real ones, they were able to increase their conversions by 161%. So here are some things that work in that area. Get specific. Make sure you are really giving real life examples of things that happened. Tell stories, give case studies, show the process, show that you know your stuff by really digging into some of the details. Write copy that shows that you really understand their challenges, not just at a surface or generic level, but like that you deeply have dug in and you know all of the ins and outs of what can arise when they're working with you. And use lots of social proof. So this can be things like adding testimonials, having videos of clients talking about working with you, things that show that you really are who you say you are. And also prove that you have gotten results and that you have authority in this space. Number 4 is people are selfish. This is just part of human nature. It sounds bad, but it's the truth. This is where when you write your website or you present your website like a resume where it like lists out your background and your credentials and all the things you've ever done, people are going to get bored because they're reading it thinking like, what's in it for me? The truth is that visitors don't really care about you. They care about what you are going to help them with, how you are going to get them a transformation. So when you're building your website, you want to make them the hero. You are the guy that's going to help them get to the point that they want to get. And within there, you can weave in your story, you can weave in your background, but still keeping them at the center of the story. There's a website called Social with 2 O's. Next to the sign up now, they just put a little arrow that said it's free. And it really highlighted the benefit that people were getting. It kind of called out to them that this is something that they're going to get for free. Everybody loves free. And the result was a 28% increase in clicks in those buttons. Number 5 is people are naturally distrustful. Buyers want proof before they buy. Trust comes before the sale, not after. So again, you want to put things in your website that build that trust, that show your expertise. The other thing is you want to bring in consistency. So throughout your online presence, you want to have a brand that sort of translates across all touch points, that stays consistent so that when people are visiting, they know you're the same person as you are on Instagram, you're the same person on your email list, and it all creates one cohesive experience for them. And then you want to create authority too. You want to establish that you know the details, that you know the nitty-gritty of this space. You're not just someone trying to hawk a service, button seat service provider, as it's sometimes called, but that you're showing up as an expert, not just a vendor. And another part of this is relationship building. I think when we think of marketing, we think of spewing out everything we can to try to get someone to buy, getting more visibility. But really at its heart, marketing is relationship. It means really thinking through to the person on the other side, speaking directly to them and relating to their struggles and what they're going through. So in addition to understanding these fundamental truths about human behavior, human psychology, it's helpful to also add in some human psychology hacks on top of this. So these are things like, first off, reciprocity. So that means giving something before you expect something in return. That's why freebies have been a powerful way to gain leads in the past however many years. So you give helpful content, you provide resources, and then the feeling that that person, if they have to make a choice and they have, many options in front of them, they're more likely to go to the person that's given them something first. Another one that's commonly used in marketing is urgency and scarcity. And I do think you have to be careful here to not make false urgency or false scarcity, make some lie up to try to get them to act. But they do work because humans need a deadline. So that means like if you have a program and you know that you can only take on so many clients, mention that. Share that there's limited spots. Or if you know that there's a certain deadline that you need to meet to be able to deliver in a certain time frame, then put that deadline in there and let them know that there's a limited time that they could sign up. Maybe you can start thinking through ways that you can structure your offers or your promotions to naturally create deadlines within there to get people to take the steps now instead of waiting until whenever. Another one is authority. We are naturally drawn to someone that we believe has authority, has credibility. So there's ways that you can go about building your authority in your space. So a simple way is just to share content, share your expertise online, social media, on YouTube, wherever your main platform is. You can also work to get some media features or do some collaborations with other ones in compatible spaces so that you can get up and share your expertise in ways that are relatable and helpful to someone else's audience, but they also build that authority in the person's mind. And that's where you can bring in some credentials. Like if you share logos of clients that you've worked with, or you've shared places that you have appeared, made appearances, that can be helpful in just building up your credibility and helping people see you as that expert. And then again, coming back to social proof, there's some when we see other people have done something, we are more likely to do it ourselves. So that's why testimonials on Amazon are so powerful. We can go in and read, like, what have other people experienced? And when we see that that experience is good, then that gives us confidence that we can move forward knowing that we'll get a good experience as well. If you can showcase before and after stories in some way, if you can tell them or show them to your audience, those can be really powerful in helping just let people know that others have been before them. They're not the first. So just to recap, there are a few things I think that are really helpful to understand about sales psychology and human behavior to help you improve your website and get people to take action there. First off, people are lazy. They're most likely to take the path of least resistance. And so you want to make sure you're thinking about that as you structure your website. People are busy. They have a lot going on in their lives. They have a lot of distractions. So if your website is too confusing or there's too much going on, they're going to move on by. People are savvy. They know what's out there. They've seen it all. They've been hurt. So they want to know the nuts and bolts of you and what you offer, not just generic overpromises. People are selfish. They want to know what's in it for me. What am I going to get out of this? I'm not just going to give you my money for charity. And then lastly, people are distrustful. They're not just going to believe what you tell them. They want proof that it's actually true. So knowing those things, you can naturally build a website that meets them where they are and kind of appeals to those natural inclinations. And then you can layer things in like offering freebies and like creating urgency and scarcity, offering authority and sharing social proof. When you start using these things, I think that's where you'll really see this transition from your website maybe just being a virtual paperweight out there in the internet and actually starting to be a sales machine in your business. In addition to sales psychology, it also helps to really understand your perfect fit client. And that's where market research can be helpful to dig into some deeper needs or deeper wants of the person that you're meant to serve. I've created some AI prompts that are designed to help you dig deeper into your target market. That way you can speak more specifically to them, more powerfully to them, and really resonate with them as they're on your website. If those are helpful for you, check the link in the description and you can download those now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel where I offer more marketing, branding, and website advice for you and your service-based business. And let me know below, which principle are you going to apply to your website first?